Hello friends, and we are back with another episode. And today हम थोड़े से serious topic पर discussion करेंगे, and it is for the benefit of everyone who listens to us. And आज का topic है how to heal from a trauma. And we want to disclose something before we begin with our podcast. ज़रूरी नहीं है हर एक trauma heal हो, ठीक है? And every trauma has its own journey, right? And अगर आपको किसी भी तरीके का ट्रॉमा है, डिस्ट्रेस है, और अगर आपको लगता है कि you are not able to deal with it, then you should definitely go to a clinical certified psychologist or psychiatrist or any professional person for sure if you think you are not able to deal it alone, okay? Because they might give you some medicines or medications which will help you regulate your emotions in a better way. Apart from that, whatever we'll discuss today, it is just purely for educational purposes, and nothing is for entertainment purposes today. It is something which we will collectively discuss today, which we have experienced throughout our life in different phases, and we will only explain what we have experienced around us or through us or within us, right? Okay. So, Nishu, you tell me, have you recently researched about anything related to trauma, and what do you think trauma is according to you?
Okay, so trauma is something like basically a catastrophic event, or it can be physical also. So
Okay.
like an injury. So if you notice, like even if someone gets hit by a blunt object or things like that, even in the medical lingo, that's called a blunt trauma.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So trauma is basically any physical injury, I think, or emotionally, which will be the main focus of our talk this episode, is a catastrophic event,
Okay.
which if you do not process it properly, it leaves an emotional scar.
Emotional scar.
Yeah, just like a physical wound, like if you get hit or hurt, there is in the beginning, there is a kind of shock that your body faces. So there's this adrenaline rush, and initially, if it's you are really pumped up and it's a big wound, maybe initially you will not feel the pain.
Okay.
As
You are talking about the physical trauma.
yes, as your body calms down, then it will start to feel the pain. Similarly, and then eventually the trauma heals physically.
Okay.
The body works on repairing it.
But I think
The-
sometimes physical trauma also leads to emotional trauma. For example, sometimes people get into a car accident. Okay, I have heard about this on news or around me or something like that. And for instance, people met with an accident while on travel journey or while driving a car. For some reason, even if after they have healed physically, they try to avoid driving a car or a bike or a scooter or something like that. Or if they have trauma related to a certain place, कि कहीं गए थे वहाँ कोई trauma हो गया, तो they avoid going to that place basically. Even if they are healed physically, emotionally it, I guess, leaves a scar to a certain limit or for few years, months. And something like also happens with certain movies and songs also, कि अगर आपने किसी के साथ मूवी या सॉन्ग रिलेट किया हो, शेयर किया हो, नाउ दैट यू हैव ब्रोकन अप विद देम, सो दैट music or movie kind of becomes triggering for you, you know, that is like an emotional trauma that comes after the physical trauma, I think so.
So yeah, of course you can have physical trauma with emotional trauma, because none of this is like black or white.
Yes.
It's anything can happen with anything in real life. And just how the body feels a physical trauma, it also has a mechanism for healing the emotional trauma, or at least protecting you from the initial shock. Just like the adrenaline rush in your body protects you from the initial shock of physical injury. Similarly, in emotional trauma, what the body does or your mind does initially is if the trauma is small enough and you are an adult and have a certain mental capacity, what the mind does is it walls off the trauma, the traumatic episode. So feelings related to that, memories related to that, the mind just walls it off in one corner of your brain or mind, and that is the initial defense mechanism. So,
Like you are not able to open up or absorb that trauma emotionally, whatever is happening to you, and then maybe you will be in denial of sorts. No, this is not happening to me, or I don't know what's happening. You would not have that clarity of thought or of whatever that is happening to you.
right, because just as I mentioned, this is the body's first response, like its immediate response.
Yes.
So what happens next is as you experience life, you meet people, you talk about your these past experiences and memories, you can slowly how do I say it, slowly
Release or express.
release or what do you call it, activate those memories or access, slowly access those memories or experiences and share it with people. This is how you slowly chip away the wall and normalize its existence in the brain or mind. And then there's also, of course, when you sleep, when you have a good sleep, the brain itself has its own mechanisms for
Yes.
flushing out negative emotions.
Releasing negative emotions, especially it happens to a lot of corporate employees as well, that whenever you have a stressful day at work, you then tend to have a stressful dream at night, or you might be having a stressful meeting next morning, and you are already aware of that, and then you will get a stressful or heavy or anxiety driven dream maybe the night before the actual meeting that is going to happen. Whatever happens in that dream is basically your mind trying to release or process those emotions which are suppressed and which you are not able to face them when you are awake. So I think that's one way to deal with that, with your negative emotions and your trauma that might be suppressed or built up, or that you feel or your body knows is going to be induced tomorrow morning or the next day. So your body collects it, and your dreams try to release it and process it, right? And then first method, as you said, was talking to people. Talking to people helps to chip away your guardrails that you have around your heart, your mind, and maybe stigmas and assumptions about people related to your past, right? And what else? I think talking to a therapist for sure. Third is talking to a certified person or a healer. They help in releasing your emotions. They help in naming your emotions. They help in going to the deeper root causes, because sometimes because we are ourselves victims when we are going through a certain type of trauma, whether be it emotional, physical, mental, or anything. But when we go to a psychologist or a healer, they are seeing our trauma from a third perspective, right? They are not really emotionally involved, so they can help us go to a deeper level of that root cause, and with the pace that we ourselves set. If you are not ready to be healed or to connect to the root cause on day one, then there are certain retainership programs or retreat programs, therapy sessions which go on for months even, if it's not healed or tapped into on the first day itself. Happens to a lot of people, and it depends on person to person how much they are emotionally, mentally, physically ready to meet their own, what do you call it, blind spots or shadow self. In healing terms we call it shadow self, the self which we keep suppressed or hidden. and I think these three are major ways in healing any type of generic trauma, be it emotional, mental, physical. And then there is obviously, I think so, which I regularly do, that is meditation and yoga. Meditation and yoga helps you to connect your mind with your body. You learn to sit in silence, you learn to sit with your thoughts, you learn to observe yourself as a entity, as a spiritual being while you are meditating. And while you are doing yoga, you learn to trust your body again, because if you are in a physical trauma or any kind of emotional trauma, which are eventually interrelated, you end up not trusting your body to survive. But when you indulge in regularly yogic asanas or practices, you learn to balance your body, and you learn to activate 7 chakras one by one eventually. And but it obviously takes daily practice and routine and discipline. But obviously these practices help. And next, I would say listening to good music, positive vibration, vibes, chanting, prayers, these obviously help a lot. And I believe in positive vibrations, and there's sound healing, music healing, art therapies, just like sketching, drawing. I love drawing and I love sketching, writing letters. So such activities actually help, because it helps us keep in touch with our suppressed emotions.
It's also like an outlet.
These all activities are like outlets, and once we tap into our suppressed emotions, we can then name it and then release it. That's the only process. First we have to name the feeling, and then it becomes easier to release it.
One more thing I would just like to mention is recently I've been watching a lot of videos of this person, Dr. K. So he's a Harvard psychiatrist. So he's an Indian American person, and there's great videos on his channel. You can watch 2 hour long videos, and he talks about a lot of concepts and a lot of the science behind it, and genuinely it makes a lot of sense. So I'll just give you a brief 1-2 things that I've learned from him. Is he's done a bit of spiritual medicine also in his practice. So he has actually applied some of the yoga, meditation and Ayurvedic techniques also in his practice, and he has actually backed it up with science. So he's only taken those practices out of that discipline which actually has some evidence or has some basis and has shown some results. So here is the reason why yoga and meditation works. Firstly, there is this chemical called serotonin.
Happiness hormones, right? I think so.
It is a hormone, I think, or more correctly, it is a neurotransmitter. So it's not happiness hormone as per se. The role of serotonin is basically, as much I understand, is to stabilize your mood. So I think I can say this without any doubt that in general, like people say it is healthy to exercise regularly. So that in the same spirit, I can say that in general, for the mental health, it's good to do activities that boost your serotonin. Now, how serotonin is produced is when you are content, like you achieve something and sense of achievement or contentment. Now, this is different from dopamine. Dopamine is the pleasure neurotransmitter, and dopamine is produced when you are having fun. So you are just enjoying life, having fun. That produces dopamine.
But I think when you are in trauma, specifically in that condition, when you are going through daily certain traumas or something, it becomes difficult to have fun even in daily life. And I think that's the serotonin which you talked about. I think that's the baseline we have to touch, because we are not content at all when we are going through daily trauma. Fun to बहुत दूर की बात है.
So yeah, that's what I am saying is, so we know that to produce serotonin, we need to have some sense of contentment or achievement. Now the way yoga and meditation helps is as you unlock more and more of your chakras, as your meditative state becomes higher and higher, what it does is progressively it lowers your ego.
Yes.
What that means is you stop thinking about yourself. Now, by lowering your ego, I mean, so this is all on Dr. K's channel. I'm just
So I didn't know that he also talked about yoga and meditation.
Yes, he does.
But I think we are very much aligned on that aspect for sure.
So I'm just briefly summarizing what he has said. You can watch the entire 2
I'm
hours
going to
on
watch
it.
that, guys. You
So-
must also.
So I'll just summarize it for you. So he said, so basically your ego goes down. By ego, it does not mean that I am great, I am superior. Ego means any kind of thought about yourself. So even negative ego. So I am so pathetic, I am so shameful, I am this and that. Either negative ego or positive ego. Basically, the magnitude, the value itself goes down of ego. So you start thinking less about yourself, and also what happens is it lowers your threshold for contentment. So it makes it easier for you to get content in little things in life.
But I think that also happens because because I do meditation and yoga quite often whenever I get time. So when you sit in silence, when you pray and when you chant Om regularly, or if you do nothing, just sit in silence and observe your thoughts, observe yourself, your expectations from yourself, from others decline. That's where I think you are talking about your guardrails or what you call fortified guards or walls of contentment lowers down. But what actually happens is first the expectations of life or happiness lowers down. That's when contentment comes to yourself on its own organically, because you're happy
In smaller things in life.
smaller things, or just in this moment that you're alive, you are breathing, you are able to converse with yourself, you are able to accept yourself. Because when you are in trauma, you first start hating yourself as well. Why did that happen to me? What did I do wrong? Is it my past karma or something? I have been so good to others, or I have been such a good child or good teenager, good man, human being, woman. Why is it happening to me? And when you don't get the answer to that why, you start hating yourself. When you start disliking yourself, you self-sabotage, you don't listen to yourself, and that's how you return to yourself when you do meditation and yoga. You start prioritizing yourself, you start listening to yourself, you start accepting your own faults. कि ठीक है भाई, whatever happened has happened, it was all in the past, and now what? Now you start questioning, now what I have to do with the time I have been given on this earth. I cannot keep on repeating the same story in my mind. You get that willpower when you do meditation and yoga. I have to do something. I have to, maybe it's me, maybe it's not for everyone, but at least I feel so. Now I have to work harder for the loss of time. Work harder because I've lost already so much. So I have to win something bigger than that loss. That becomes a sense of motivation to go on.
Yeah, so that can also happen to a person. But basically, what I was saying was, so your threshold of contentment goes down. So you start being content more often.
Yes.
And what that leads to is it leads to an increased production of serotonin.
Yes.
And that because you are now having more serotonin on average, that means your mood is stabilized. And one very last thing I would like to touch upon that Dr. K also mentioned is there is this psychedelic chemical called DMT. And what basically happens is some part of serotonin gets converted to DMT
in our body,
in our brain. So the mechanism is not fully understood, but scientists are sure, at least on this fact, that if you have, like, suppose, I'm just saying just using some random unit, suppose you have 100 ml of serotonin in your brain, maybe 10 ml gets converted to DMT. Just random numbers I'm saying, this is just to illustrate the concept.
Okay.
And it is this DMT that leads you to having these ecstatic
Emotions or
not
feeling.
emotions, what I would call it is psychedelic experiences, like out of body experiences and things like that.
But that will only happen when you meditate, right?
Yes.
When
So-
you tap into that serotonin source, because when you are not activating it, how will you feel it then?
So exactly. So what Dr. K mentioned was the yogis who have like the highest state of meditation, because they have such a high serotonin production. So their serotonin level compared to an average human,
Is much higher.
the average human he mentioned was he's only having like 1% serotonin compared to that yogi. And because that yogi is having so much serotonin, he gets these DMT experiences more often. Because the more serotonin you have, the more chances of it converting to DMT.
Okay, I think we have said pretty much today on how to heal traumas.
And just general mental
in
health.
a generic way, in a very healthy way, not to pinpoint at anyone or any trauma per se, but for anyone who wants to heal, who wants to walk on this path of self-discovery, self-healing journey, you can definitely do writing, sketching, painting, meditation, yoga. Talk to someone close to you. I talk to my brother a lot, he talks to me a lot, and we talk to our parents or siblings a lot, because we are very close-knitted support system emotionally. You can build as well, and if you do not have that, obviously there's always professional help, professional certified people out there to help you out. Okay, and if you're going through any trauma, feel free to drop down any comment below. If you want to share your feelings, share your stories, if you feel this could make you feel lighter. And I have just adding here that I have written a series called She Who Rises. It has nothing to do with the traumas and stuff, but it is a very good series of self-help books. It's a series of 15 books, but only 3 are out right now on Amazon, KDP and KU. And if you are someone who wants to walk on this path of self-discovery, self-healing, and become more authentic person, and chip away, as we started this podcast with, chip away your emotional conditioning, so you can start reading these 3 books, especially if you also have abandonment trauma issues from your mother's side. Go check that out. She Who Rises series by Nilakshi Garg on Amazon.com or .in, whatever, whichever country you are from. If this podcast helped you in any way, do let us know. We would love to know if our stories, our talks, our viewpoints are helping you in any way. And yeah, stay connected.
So just one last thing I would like to mention is, so of course you can see like how sketching and painting that helps you, because in the moment you're maybe just having fun, you get some dopamine. But when you complete a sketch or complete a painting, that is a
Real win.
that is a kind of an achievement. It gives you sense of contentment,
Yes, sense of achievement as well.
sense of achievement and sense of contentment.
Right.
So serotonin is produced,
And then dopamine.
it improves your mood.
Yes, and then dopamine as well, because if
Dopamine is during the activity, but when you complete it, it's a serotonin is the reward.
So try any of these activities. Try talking to a camera even if you want to. If you miss being social, if you miss being on camera, if you miss talking to anyone, just start talking to yourself in front of camera. I am sure it will help you a lot. It will boost your confidence. And who better than you yourself, talking to yourself in front of camera, motivating yourself, accepting yourself, right? Start doing that, and do let us know if any of these activities work out for you. We'll keep reaching out to you with more sincere, serious, and very emotional topics as well. other than our usual interesting or controversial or conversational topics for sure. Okay. We'll see you next time, everyone. Please take care, please stay safe and stay emotionally, mentally, physically well. Bye.
See you guys. See you later.